Today we're going to work on solving rational equations, and there are a couple of steps in order to do this. So factor the denominators if there's anything to be factored. You're going to determine the least common denominator, and then you're going to multiply each term by the least common denominator in order to clear the denominator so that you're only working with the numerators, and you're going to solve from there. So this first one, the least common denominator is 10 times x plus 3. 2 goes into 10, so that is the number factor of the denominator. So then the restrictions come from anything that has a variable, so x cannot be -3 when I set x plus 3 equal to 0. Then from there, I am going to multiply each of the terms by this 10 times x plus 3. So I'm going to say 10 times x plus 3 over 1 times 2 over x plus 3. Then I'm going to say plus 10 times x plus 3 divided by 1 times 3 over 2. Then I'm going to say 10 times x plus 3 over 1 times 19 over 10. All right, so then from there, I'm going to cross out any factors that are occurring in the numerator and denominator of each set. So there's an x plus 3 in the numerator and the denominator here. There is a 2 in the numerator and denominator here. And there's a 10 in the numerator and denominator here. Then I'm going to write out what's left. So I have 2 times 10 plus 5 times 3, which is 15, times that x plus 3. And then I've got equals 19 times x plus 3. Then from here, I'm just going to multiply everything out. So I've got 20 plus 15x plus 45 equals 19x plus 9 times 3 is 27, 3 times 1 is 3. You carried a 2, so it'd be 57. All right, then from there, you're going to just solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 15x from this side and this side. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I've got 4x. Then I'm going to subtract the 57, which leaves me with 20 and minus 12. So I've got 8 equals 4x. X is 2. Now, I do need to check that 2 is not a restriction. So if I look up here, the only thing that x can't be is -3. So 2 works. And so then that would be my answer. And the way I could check it is I could use my calculator and I could say 2 over 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3. Plus 3 over 2 should equal 19 tenths. This is 2/5 plus 3 halves. That does equal 19 tenths, so we are good to go. All right, now let's take a look at another one. The next problem, I need to make sure and factor my denominator first. So this factors to x plus 5 times x plus 3. This very easily helps me to determine my LCD, which is x plus 5 times x plus 3. My restrictions come from my denominator, so x cannot be -5 or -3. All right, now I'm going to take each of the factors and multiply by x plus 5 times x plus 3 times 2x over x plus 5 minus x plus 5 times x plus 3 over 1 times x squared minus x minus 10 divided by x plus 5 times x plus 3. And then the last one, x plus 5 times x plus 3 divided by 1 times 3 divided by x plus 3. And the reason I can do this is because I'm multiplying every single term by the exact same thing. And so that is allowed. That's why the denominators are 1 and not like x plus 5 times x plus 3 divided by x plus 5 over x plus 3 like we did when we were just adding or subtracting. Also note the difference is that was an expression. This is actually an equation because I have an equal sign. So we're actually solving now. So I'm crossing out things that I have in common in the numerator and denominator. And then I'm going to rewrite the expression. So I've got 2x times x plus 3 minus x squared minus x minus 10 equals 3 times x plus 5. And then we're going to go ahead and distribute and solve from there. So we've got 2x squared plus 6x minus x squared plus x plus 10 equals 3x plus 15. I'm going to simplify on this side, so 2x squared minus x squared gives me just x squared. 6x plus 1x is 7x. And then I've got 3x plus 15. I know this is quadratic because I see this right here. Because I see that it is an x squared. So that's how I know it's quadratic. So I need to put everything on the same side. So I'm going to subtract the 3x, which gives me x squared plus 4x, and then I'm going to subtract 15, which gives me negative 5 equals 0. So this is going to be x, and then we've got, it's going to be plus 5 times x minus 1, because 5 and negative 1 multiply to give me negative 5, but also add to give me positive 4. So x is going to be negative 5 and positive 1. And then I need to go up and check to see if those are restrictions or not. In this case, negative 5 is a restriction. So I am going to go ahead and cross out that negative 5. And so I have a 1 left. So my answer is x is 1. And then you could, again, plug that in to make sure it checks out. All right, so that is how we are going to solve rational equations.